welcome to POMCLOSET. Today I'm going to create something very simple for the upcoming autumn winter or for the cold days. So it's going to be a sweater by using these yarns. So I have stash of yarn. I need to use the mix of many colors. The brands are from the Gründl brand, from the Hobby, the Mayflower one, the rainbow one also from the Hobby. These are 100% cotton for ply crochet hook that I'm going to be using, as well as the pair cutter, the yarn needles and the tape measure. So the design is very simple. Basically you will need a few of the granny squares. Before we move on to the design, I will need to create one of the granny squares to show you, because I've done quite a few. They're very easy and very simple, so you can use any colors of your choice. And I will do only one granny squares and how to connect them, and then I will get back to explain about the design. To start with, as I have mentioned, you can use any colors of your favorite. And the granny squares pattern, there's so many granny squares. I'm going to use a very basic one, so I will choose this color first because I have so many yarns like these left, and some of them are not the color that I have in stock, and I don't get the colors anymore. For example, this peach color, I cannot find this color anymore, even from Hobby. They're similar, but the texture is quite different, so I might as well just use them and finish them before I order the new color. Let's get to the granny squares one. I will do the slip knot, so I have chosen this lime green color first. The slip knot, and I will chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can do the magic ring, but I prefer to use the chains. Then do the slip stitch on the first chain to have these little loop or the little rings here, and then you chain 3. Do the 2 double crochets. So you will have 3 double crochets, including the 3 chains at the beginning, and then chain 2 in between, and then 3 double crochets, then chain 2, then 3 double crochets, chain 2 more, and then the last 3 double crochets. They are all in the same ring. Now we chain 2 and then slip stitch on the 3rd chain, or chain 1 to close this row. Cut off the yarn for weave in. And on this part here, I just cut it off. Now you will have round 1 of the granny squares. You have 2 chains in between. This is a very basic granny square pattern. There's so many patterns of the granny squares. Some of them are easy, some of them are more complicated, but I'm just going to use the easy one. For round 2, we are going to use 5 rows of these. I have done, for example, this one. So I have row 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The 5th one I want to use white for all of my grannies. Like these, I have done in different colors, and always use the white. This is entirely up to you if you want to use black or other colors, but I'm going to use the white one. So for row 2, I will start from this part here where you have done chain 2 next to the one you just cut off the yarn, and I will go for orange, reconnecting the yarn on this corner. Beware, this is going to be lots of weave in jobs. And then chain 3, and then you need to do 2 more double crochet in the same space, change 2, 3 double crochet in the same space, to create the corner here. The next one without any chain in between, and repeat this corner. 3 double crochets, 2 chains, 3 double crochets in the same space, so here's the second corner, third corner, so there is no change in between the corner. 3 double crochets, 2 chains, 3 double crochets in the same space on the third corner of row 2. Now we have the last corner left, 3 double crochets, 2 chains, 3 double crochets in the same space to complete the last corner of this row 2, and then slip stitch on the third chain, chain 1 and then cut off the yarn. This complete row 2. For row 3, I will start from where I just cut off the yarn. I will use this time now yellow, so you can choose any color. Reconnecting the yarn, and then change 3 on this one, 2 more double crochets in the same space. So you can see in between the corner I did 2 chains, 2 chains, 2 chains, 2 chains in between, but between on the side here there is no change. Like this one, there's no change. I'll just go for 3 double crochets, change 2 because it's corner, and then 3 double crochets. So before I run out of yarn, I need to reconnecting the yarn using one of my techniques that I have done in the video. This is very easy technique. Now in between, no change, just go for 3 double crochets, and in between there's no change here, go for 3 double crochets, 2 chains, 3 double crochets in the same space, the same corner, and on this one there's no chains here, let's go for 3 double crochets, and then just repeat these all the way around. And before ending of the row, you need to slip stitch on the third chain here, chain 1, then cut off the yarn, leave the end for weaves in. It's going to be lots of weave-ins work. So on the 4th row, I'm gonna choose, maybe I'll go for pink, reconnecting the yarn. I always reconnecting the yarn next to the one I have just cut off, but this is entirely up to you where you want to start. They are exactly the same. Then change 3. And then just keep on going with the pattern by repeating the row 3. And once I finish this row on row 4, I will change to white and then repeat exactly the same as row 3 and row 4. So in between the 3 double crochets here, there is no chain, so just bear in mind only the corner that I need to put 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets, 2 chains, 3 double crochets at the corner. The rest you will do only 3 double crochets, like this one. So you can see here, so on row 1 we have 4 of these 3 double crochets. Row 2 you will have like 4 corner. Row 3 you will have 1 3 double crochets in between the corner, and row 4 you will have 2 of the 3 double crochets in between the corner, and row 5 you will have 3 of them. For every rows it will add it up the 3 double crochets here automatically. And I will continue doing the granny squares for, I need to show you the design. The design would be a very simple sweater. You will need to use 5 of the granny squares connecting together and knead them for 4 rows. The measurement of these granny square is 4 inches by 4 inches piece. I will use 1, 2, 3, 4. I will use 5 pieces of the granny squares and also 4 rows. For the sleeves I will need to use 3 of the granny squares of 1 row, and I need the total of 5 rows. So that means 3 multiplied by 5 is 15 pieces for the sleeves of one side, and the other side is also 15. So only the sleeves you will need 30. And as I have mentioned, each granny square is 4 by 4 inches. So you will get the measurement to fit size S and M. So the front piece you will need 20, back 20, sleeve 30. The total you will need is 70 pieces. Just before we get on to the design, so I need to show you how I joining the granny squares pieces together. So basically this is what I do. There's so many techniques you can do. So you can do the back loops to back loops and then single crochet or a slip stitch, but I'm gonna do it my way. So basically you will need to put the right side to the right side like this, and then reconnecting the yarn from one of the corner, reconnecting this white color because I'm using white on the last row, and then I will change 3, 1, 2, 3, and move on to the next gap between the 3 double crochet here, front piece, back piece, slip stitch, and then change 3, the next gap, back piece, front piece, slip stitch, change 3, back, front, slip stitch, change 3, front and back, slip stitch, change 3, and the corner here, front, back, slip stitch, chain 1, and then cut off the yarn. This is how I connecting the granny squares together. It will look something like this. So you can choose your own technique or use mine, entirely up to you. So I will connecting all of the pieces, the back side or the wrong side of the grannies after I have connected. It would look something like this. And here's the front side or the right side. Basically you will need to connect them like the 5 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 first, and then you will connect row 2, then row 3, then the row 4 before connecting each row together. So using the same techniques as on this one, as the one I have shown you. The total of the granny squares on this piece here would be 20, as well as the back piece, so front and back would be the same. This will fit size SM pullover. Unless you want to make it larger or the smaller, you can reduce the rows. So I have also the sleeves. The sleeves I have, as I have mentioned on the pattern, I will have like 1, 2, 3 for 5 rows. So you will need 2 sleeves. So here's 1, 2, 3, and then for 5 rows. So I have completed the 2 sleeves, the front, the back piece, and then I will connect the pieces by turning the right side to the right side. So the right side of the grannies and the right side of this piece as well. Now we need to work out on the side of the top here. I will go for 2 rows of these. I will be reconnecting the yarn on this end. And then use the same techniques, like chain 3, next gap, slip stitch, chain 3, next gap, slip stitch. The same techniques as other pieces. And then I will leave the armhole like on this part, so I put the stitch marker on. So that would be like 4 inches here, 4 inches here would be 8 inches. So it would be 16 inches around. So that should be okay for my armhole. So I will work until up to where the stitch marker is, and then leave the armhole. So on this part here. Now you will have the armhole on this part, and then I will repeat the other side. Alright, I have connected both sides. So only 2 of the granny squares here on the left and on the right, and I also left the 2 of the granny squares for the armhole. Now I need to connect the shoulder part. The shoulder part, I have decided to put the stitch markers on after the corner of the granny squares, and I put it on here as well as on this side. After the corner, I put the stitch markers on here, and I have tried on, it's past my head size, so now I need to connect it using exactly the same techniques. Reconnecting the yarn, tie it, and then chain 3, slip stitch, chain 3, slip stitch. So try not to do 2 ties on the chain 3 here. And I cut off the yarn, reconnecting the other side. Cut off the yarn and leave the ends for sewing. With the sewing jobs, there are lots of works. Now let's turn the piece to the right side. So the measurements of this piece here, 4 by 5 is 20, and the back side is 20 inches by 20 would be 40 inches round. Now I need to connect also the sleeves. So the sleeves, you will need 3 pieces of each row for 5 rows, and then reconnecting the yarn, turn the right side to the right side, and then repeat the technique until you get here. So do these for both sides, the left and the right arm. So the sides connected, and I need to turn the piece to the right side. So you will have the measurements around here. You have 4, 4, 4. So that would be 12 inches around. That would be smaller than the armhole that I have left on the body part, but that is okay. We need to balance the length, because if I use the 4 pieces, this sleeve would be too baggy for me. So the armhole is 16 inches and here is 12 inches, so we need to work this out. By connecting the pieces together, we need to do the right side to the right side. So I need to turn back the body part here to the wrong side, and then insert the sleeves inside of this piece. And I have the yarn here, so I will use these as the underarm pit here, and then use lots of stitch markers on this part. So you see you need to balance here the piece, one piece, 2 piece, and the third piece I will go to the middle part here. Middle part to the shoulder part, and then work along the length of the armhole here. So I will put more of the stitch markers, but you still need to use the 3 chains to connect. Now I will get back to the this is the underarm pit. Here's the yarn I've got left, and I need to pull this through. Some of the ends I will need to weave in later, and then use the 3 chains. Now you cannot really work on the gaps between the double crochets. Just try to balance the length. I'm still using the 3 chains to connect. I will keep doing this all the way around, and then we will cut off the yarn for weave in and then get back to check the work. Last stitch, cut off the yarn. It would be the inside, and then we need to turn this back. So I have complete 1 sleeve. We will need to do the ribbing at the end. So far I have something like this, the body part front, back, and the sleeve, 1 sleeve. So I will be reconnecting the other side, the other sleeve. Alright guys, I have connected the body part with the sleeves, and now I need to do the ribbing. By doing the ribbing is very easy. I will first reconnecting the yarn on the sleeves. I will start from the sleeves part here. Then you will need to do single crochet in every stitches here. Just single crochet all the way around the sleeves. It's the last stitch, and then you need to do the slip stitch on the first stitch to join to complete the single crochet row. And the next row you need to change 3, so we're working on the right side. On this row will be the double crochet rows. I will repeat these until the end of the row. the last stitch of the double crochet rows, and then you need to slip stitch on the third chain to complete this second row. And on the third row, chain 3, then do the front post double crochet on the next stitch, then back post double crochet on the next stitch, and then front post double crochet, back post double crochet. Keep repeating this until the last stitch. Here's the last stitch of the third row, including the first row would be the single crochet rows, second row would be the double crochet rows, and the third row would be the front post and back post double crochets. So will be the ribbing for the sleeves as well as the neckline. The last stitch here, the next one, I will need to do the back post, but here is where we joining, where we did chain 3 from the beginning of the row. So what I would do, I will go back to the second row where the double crochet row is, and then do the back post on this one. Now you will have 3 loops on the crochet hook. Pull the yarn through 2 loops, and now you need to go through the where you have the 3 chains at the beginning of the row, and then pull the yarn through all of them to complete the back post double crochets. Now you need to basically just repeat row 3, do the front post double crochet where the front post is, back post double crochet where the back post is, and then repeat. Once you get back to the last stitch here, you will need to repeat the techniques that I have just shown you, and I will do this for the total of, I will go for 5 rows including the double crochet rows, so I don't count the single crochet rows. The ribbing should be the double crochet rows and then 4 of the front post and back post double crochets, and then you need to cut off the yarn and then repeat the other side. The ribbing of the sleeve is done, so I have the single crochet rows here, I have the double crochet rows, and then I have 4 rows of the back post and front post double crochets. Once you finish it, you can actually add more of the ribbing, but I will leave it like this much, and cut off the yarn, weave them all in, repeat the other side of the sleeve as well as the neckline here. So basically you will need to do first the single crochet rows in every stitches here all the way around, and then do the double crochet rows and then repeat 4 more rows of the back post and front post. Bottom of the top here, if you want to repeat the ribbing like this, you can also do it, but if you want to maybe do the single crochet rows and then leave it like that, so this is entirely up to you. So I will then complete my ribbings for the sleeve, both sides as well as the neckline, and then I will try this on to see whether if I want to do the ribbing on this part or not. The granny square sweater is finished, so I have added the ribbings on the sleeves as well as the neckline here. So the rows of the ribbing, I have added like 5 rows of these, including the double crochet rows and both sides on the sleeve as well as the neckline part, but I haven't added any of the ribbings on the bottom part because I want to leave it like this. It's kind of short sweater, so I want to wear it with the high waist jeans or the high waist skirts. So this is entirely up to you. The result turned out good, so I really hope you like the tutorial, guys. It's very easy to do as long as you can do the granny squares. You can create so many items. I want to do the bags or long cardigans or the coat, the jacket, something like that. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, guys. Thanks for watching. Any comments, any questions, feel free to leave on the comment section. Follow my Instagram account and share the works if you ever need any of the designs from my videos. I would love to share them on my page. I will see you in the next video.